started.
Humpback plays the English. Okay, well, let's start with knight f6, see what he's going for here. Just going to go with kind of a symmetrical setup. He's just doing his knight out. He hasn't fianchettoed his bishop. That's a bit odd. Okay. Now he does that. So I can play d5 immediately. Pawn takes, knight takes, queen takes, because his bishop is not there yet. He delayed the fianchetto. I mean, you can play that anyway, I think. But there's more to worry about if there's a bishop sitting on g2. But this looks fine. So I can castle. And now he's hitting this guy. Potentially. I can trade. Or retreat. Or defend it. Let's see. I guess I don't want to defend it because it would block in this light squared bishop. So maybe I'll just take. Put a knight on c6 there. And then defend that. He doesn't have any. Oh, he can chase my queen with his bishop. He can play bishop there. Okay, and now my knight is pretty secure, and I can defend it with bishop to b7. If he had played bishop to f4 to chase away my queen, I had the square d7 to defend the knight from, so I wasn't too worried about that. But I need to get the bishop out and get the rook to the half-open file, and then this looks pretty secure here. So he's just built up this nice pawn structure, which it's not bad. I mean, he can gain some space with it. I'm wondering if I should try to stop it a bit with e5. e5 would slow down the advance of the e-pawn and maybe turn this into a bad bishop. If he takes, I can take with the knight, which will open up the f-file. My queen is defending here adequately, it seems. So that left the d-pawn loose, and the e-pawn is still defended because I've got the knight and the bishop on it as well as the queen. Okay, so that defends the d-pawn. Now the yeah, he defended the d-pawn, but the e-pawn is loose because the d-pawn is now pinned. Can I take advantage of that in some way? If I could move the knight with tempo, then I could grab here with the bishop. Or maybe I could trade. Now, if I trade, he comes back with the bishop. Let's just put a rook on the e-file and wait and see what he see what he does. Maybe I can slowly prepare this. Okay, so he gets the queen off of that. Yeah, so that's a perfectly good response. Maybe I should have doubled. Maybe I should have just doubled. How about bishop here, putting more pressure on the backwards d-pawn this way? Since the e-file is closed, yeah. So bishop takes, rook takes, queen takes, comes out okay for him. There's no move order trick there. If I put this on a light square, he can hit it with his bishop. Let's see if he does that. I don't know if that's particularly good for him. I would just move. I would move up to d6 and then ask him what his next move is. But maybe I should have gone to d6 directly rather than allowing him this move bishop h3. It is a tempo if that is a good square for his bishop. Okay, so now I'm threatening to take the d-pawn once again. So he advances, which is interesting. He's got a pin on my knight. That's true. Pawn takes, pawn takes. Pawn takes. Bishop takes. I guess the problem is rook takes, really, because if I take with the knight, that's complicated. Let's see if I can calculate it. Pawn takes. Pawn takes. That unveils a pin on my knight. But my queen is protected, so it's not yet a pin. Maybe I could take, after pawn takes, I could take with the knight, maybe. Then he comes back with bishop or knight. No, then he has to do something about his queen. So he would play, after knight takes, he would play queen takes queen. I could throw a knight takes knight check. I think that's looking good for me. Oh, he could take with the knight defending his queen. Yeah, okay, so this is the line I calculated. So I calculated incorrectly. I can't, that's too bad. If I play knight takes knight check and then take his queen, my rook is hanging at the end. So I have to take his queen now. So that didn't really win anything. So I'll have 2 pawns to 1 on the queen side, and he will have 4 pawns to 3 on the king side, it looks like. Well, maybe this is adequately defended still. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, so he's taking advantage of the fact that my pawn is pinned. Let's double up again, defend that rook, and then threaten to take the bishop. Now he goes there, so let's block the bishop rather than move the rook, and then push that pawn forward. So I ended up a pawn up after all of that, so that worked out okay. So yeah, my king side is a bit weak, but I have an extra pawn and I have an advanced passed pawn. And we're near the end game, so he's not easily mating me. There's still a mating force here, so I do have to be wary of that. So what's the best way to organize this? Maybe bring the bishop in first. If I can get the bishop to b3 here, controlling the queening square. Oh, he's just totally ignoring that. He can take here, and I can take back with the bishop. I think that's okay. So he gave me another pawn for no reason. Then I'm going to play bishop to b3. Okay, so he's trying to get aggressive with his bishop. I don't see the threat. If he plays rook f1 to kind of threaten checkmate, I can just retreat the bishop, and the back rank is guarded anyway. If he plays bishop here, I still have... Well, we can't for the moment. Let's go after his rook like I planned. If he plays rook b1, I think I can just play... Oh, but that just walks into a skewer. That does not look right. Well, I kept finding moves I didn't expect, but they didn't quite work out. But anyway, that calculation mistake in the middle is kind of typical of the mistakes I make. And worked out okay this time, but okay. So I won the exchange, but he still blockaded my pawn. Okay, let's go after this pawn. Don't want this to get too far ahead. Actually, I set myself up for a skewer, didn't I? I did indeed. But I can actually push here because I'm threatening to take with queen. And taking a rook, winning a queen. Taking a rook, getting a queen, and delivering check all in one. So that's worth a rook. So he has no time. Okay, so he attacks my bishop. Now I can go here with check.
Check.
And then take here with check. And then save the rook. Probably there is a good way to save the rook. Okay, I can pin that guy. I have so much material here, I can just sack the exchange if nothing better turns up. But here, let's see. Here he's walking into some trouble.
Check.
If he tries to defend the bishop, I have bishop to my bishop to d1 check is
check.
Nearly mating. He's got one square over here, or he could block with his bishop. And then it's mate.
Checkmate.
All right. Well, a nice finish. My opponent was just moving a little too fast there. He was had some interesting ideas. So anyway, I'll upload this and do a post-mortem. See you guys later. Bye.